Good evening and welcome to Gungahlin Enclosed Oval for Women's Federation Cup quarter-final action. We're into match 3 of this wonderful competition, and the place in the semi-finals are up for grabs as ANU WFC take on West Canberra Wanderers. And such is the vagaries of football, these two met on the weekend. Often happens like that in cup competitions. My name's Russ Gibbs. Joining me in commentary tonight, Jordan Burcock. Jordan, welcome, and thanks for joining me. You've led a couple this year, and now you get to do co-coms.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on this wonderful evening. Looking forward to what is going to be an excellent match. You never know with cup football. Anything could happen. League form kind of goes a little bit out the window.
Well, we saw it last night. I mean, who would have thought that the ending of the game that we got at Canberra 2, Tuggeranong United, Gungahlin, Josh was there with us on camera down there as well, and we all thought at 4-2 in the 94th minute, the game was done.
As you would.
Yeah, dead and buried, and then 2 goals in 2 minutes of stoppage time took us to extra time, the magic of the cup, they call it. Expecting a quality game tonight. I mean, let's take the elephant out of the room. On the weekend, 8-0 to West Canberra Wanderers. Tamara Cochrane, 6 goals in the first 38 minutes. She scored in the 3, 5, 7, 10, 20. I mean, you've got 4 goals in your belt in 10 minutes and 5 in 20 minutes. You're doing something well. They dragged her after 65.
Could have left her on. She could have got double figures, but she does have double figures for goals for the entire season, leading that with 10 goals in 3 games, which is, wow, what a start.
Yeah, and 8 of them have come inside the opening 45 minutes of matches for Tamara Cochrane. So keep an eye out for her. She is some player. Let's have a look at the 2 teams, John. May as well go through them while we're waiting for them to join us on a wonderful evening here in the north of Canberra. ANU WFC, we're expecting a 4-5-1 formation. Connie Bishop in goal. Renee Sillett at right back. Danny Smith at left back. Marguerite Siwa is the central defender alongside Georgia Moffat. 3 in central midfield in Sophie McGlynn, Emily Mitchell and Indy Hunter. We expect Annika Fisher to be wide on the right and Shima Tawil on the left, which will leave Josie Holt leading the line. On the bench, Kiki Leeton, Elena van den Bogard, Janat Al-Sarai, Sienna Price, Claudia Kendall and Annabelle Evans, the substitute goalkeeper. They've mixed and matched their lineup this year. It was an absolute nightmare trying to figure out who plays where because they've been all over the place. Very versatile group of players trying to find their niche.
Well, especially at the start of the season as well, such as the thing with university teams. You know, you've always got players coming and going, and you've got quite a high turnover, so it can always be a little bit tricky kind of finding the same 11. Yeah,
and they've been playing in different positions, and Marguerite Siwa is an absolute example of that. She started the season wide on the right of midfield, of the front 3, then she went into midfield. Now she's playing centre-back tonight, so we'll see how she goes. West Canberra Wanderers, well, they've started the season brilliantly. 3 wins from 3. 9 points. They're only 1 goal behind Belconnen United on goal difference. Belconnen United, many people's favourites to win the title. They have played what you would describe as the 3 teams that they should be beating, and they have beaten them. Tuggeranong 5-1, Mandurah 4-1, ANU 8-0. You can only beat what's in front of you. The team tonight is as follows. Gabrielle O'Brien in goal. Allegra Senti, Emma Leonard, Olivia Hicks and Steph Nikias will be the back 4. Audrey McLaren and Perry Nash will patrol in front with Audrey Ward at the top of the diamond. 3 up top, plenty of goals in these 3. Zoe Halpin, who has 6 NPL goals in 9 games, one side. Alexandra Giddis, who has 10 in 29 the other. And Tamara Cochrane, who you mentioned, 10 in 3 so far this season. On the bench, Abigail Moss, Ellen Brown, Sam Host, Elvin Ibrahim and Bria Waters. It's a strong Wanderers lineup, and it's also one that's been growing year on year.
Yeah, it's a very strong lineup. It's kind of amazing to think that I think they've scored 17 goals in their first 3 games of the league season, won all 3 games, but somehow aren't still top of the ladder. You wouldn't see that too often.
No, Belconnen United are obviously the ones that are leading the way, and many people, as I say, expected them to do so. Not many would have expected West Canberra Wanderers to be their closest challengers at this stage of the season. As per usual in a midweek game, we're waiting for a 6:30 kickoff. It's a minute to kick off, and the teams aren't out there yet. Of course, they're not. Our match referees will lead them out. Tom Love, ball under arm, out there in the middle. Benjamin Cracknell and Thomas Stuparic.
Speak of the devil, look who is just emerging out of the tunnel as we speak.
Here come the West Canberra Wanderers in their away kit tonight. And they've changed the numbers around, they told me today, just to really confuse us because it's the away kit.
I did notice that some of the numbers had changed from the weekend, which is, I believe the technical term is a commentator's nightmare.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's almost as bad as doing Gungahlin when they've got 5 Donadels in the team, which is always a bit of fun. We'll see how we go tonight, of course, though. Cup football always brings out the best in everybody. The winners of this one, well, they will play Canberra, Croatia in the semi-final. We already know that Canberra Olympic will be playing Belconnen United in the other semi-final. Can the Wanderers get themselves a plum tie with Croatia.
Yeah, Russ, both these teams got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Cup last year, so one will be repeating that, and then one will certainly be going on to, hopefully for their sake, greater things.
Tough old draw, though. Canberra, Croatia in the Cup. Doesn't get any easier for anybody else. Croatia, Canberra Olympic got there last night, a 1-0 win over Gungahlin. Tatum Marzi stabbing home the winner while we were enjoying all the fun of the fair down at Canberra 2. It was a grittier performance for Canberra Olympic up at the AIS.
We should say it is a beautiful night for football. No wind, the surface is looking in magnificent condition. A little bit chilly, but there is a nice crowd forming here. If you are anywhere nearby, we'd love you to come on down, support these girls, say g'day as well. This is definitely going to be a very entertaining match, and just a few moments away from starting.
Yeah, free to get in as well.
Yes.
You might notice the eagle-eyed amongst you that the goals are a bit different. We've had a bit of a goal issue, but we're happy with what we've got out there at the moment. We've got 2 of them. At one stage, I thought it was going to be jumpers for goalposts.
Yeah, the old high school, just throw your jumper, that'll be the goals, and just sort of imagine where the crossbar is.
This will be the 8th meeting between the teams in all competitions. Wanderers have won 3, ANU 2. There's been 1 draw. There's been 27 goals scored in 7 games to date, and you have 9 of them. Wanderers have 19 blown out by the 8 they got a fortnight ago. And you, though, have only scored 3 goals in their last 8 matches, and 2 of those were in a 10-2 loss to Belconnen last season. It's all changed, though, for ANU. Quite a lot of their players have flipped across the road to Madura.
Yeah, I was having a look at that a little bit earlier. I'd say lots of players headed to Madura. We could list them all, but we'll probably be here all night. And the game looks like it's going to be starting in a few moments. So
a little bit later than advertised. As I said, we're pretty much used to that by now. Looking forward to what should be a great cup night. Wanderers will be favourites, of course, but as Jordan mentioned at the top, anything can happen on a cup night.
A little bit later start, but obviously wonderful effort from all of these players. A lot studying, a lot working today. So to come after work, very much appreciated. And yeah, Russ, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, you're welcome. I came all the way from Gugong. A 45-minute drive for myself.
I came all the way from Harrison. About 5-minute drive for myself.
You got the lucky end of the stick tonight. Let's get ready then for some cup football. Wanderers in the whites. It will be Josie Holt over the ball. As we expected, Fisher and Tawil either side. They got off to such a quick start on the weekend, West Canberra. They scored early and often, and they'll be hoping to repeat the feat. Whether or not ANU can hold them out, we will see. It's going to come wide for Audrey Ward. Ball in from Giddis, the left winger. The first corner of the game comes inside 26 seconds.
Very much looking forward to watching Tamara Cochrane tonight. Obviously, we touched on it, 10 goals in 3 league games. Been in amazing scoring form. And like you say, normally scores her goals quite early in games. So,
well, can she get herself off the mark here?
What a start that would be in the first couple of moments.
We're going to go short for Giddis. Couldn't quite wrap her foot around it. And you managed to get it clear, but only momentarily. Stefnikius wearing the captain's armbands. Giddis, some space to try and work. There's McLaren's pass. Naaman Leonard playing centre-back alongside Olivia Hicks. Centre-back wearing a number 9 shirt.
I did notice that. The traditionalists won't be too pleased with that.
First touch of the match for goalkeeper Gabrielle O'Brien. The Wanderers can get on the front foot. Looking for a ball through for Cochrane, but that's well covered.
It's a wonderful facility, this, but one slight drawback: doesn't have a fence around the actual pitch, so sometimes when balls do go out,
Also,
we might be waiting a few moments for it to return.
Also, when they're on that far side, Jordan, they are miles away. Makes it very tricky sometimes to pick out what's going on, but the Wanderers are offside in the early stages of this cup tie. Thursday night football. You'll be back here tomorrow night.
I will be.
Men's Premier League, Gungahlin versus Canberra, Croatia. I'm taking a weekend off and heading down to Kangaroo Valley for a bit. So,
oh, nice, lovely.
Knock yourself out on the Men's Premier League tomorrow. That will be a cracker. Canberra, Croatia in great form. Gungahlin searching for a goal. 2 points to their name this season in the Men's Premier League, but 0 goals.
Yeah, similar to ANUWFC, yet to score a league goal so far this season. All those games this weekend you can catch, of course, on the Capital Football YouTube, which I'm sure, Russ, while you're away, you'll be certainly watching them all.
I'll watch a fair bit of it, I'm sure. Perry Nash with a touch wide. And again in midfield, and a chance on that right flank for Halpin to send it forward. Cochrane was the target, as you'd expect, but that's good goalkeeping from Bishop. Northern New South Wales Premier League goalkeeper. Down here now in Canberra.
You touched on the fact that some of the players had changed numbers, and number 9 at centre-back, also a number 5 at striker, and number 4 on the wing.
Whatever you get given, I think that's where they're at tonight. These are new kits, I understand, for the Wanderers. That's why their numbers are a little bit different to what you might be used to seeing them play, which is great for us, isn't it? Because you learn the numbers, the normal numbers, and they change everything around.
It just adds to the fun.
Giddis tries to get a touch after Hicks's good work. Here's Steph Nikias. It's one back in midfield. Well, 1-2 by McGlynn. And the pressure on here. Josie Holtz did well and kept it in play. And ANU have an opportunity. They're going to get themselves a corner here. Ball into Pantier from Fisher. And she will be tasked with the set piece. ANU put 4 in the box. Fisher's delivery isn't going to find its way where it needs to go. And the first opportunity to see Cochrane have a run. COR across. Did well. Marguerite Syrah, the French origin, as you could probably guess. Danny Smith with the throw. To Wheel. Popped away by Hicks.
I know it's only still very early, but you wouldn't have... Just watching this game, it seems quite close so far. You wouldn't have thought that it's just a couple of days ago one team beat the other 8-0. Well,
by this stage, a couple of days ago, it was already 2 for the Wanderers. Nash, Halpin, and 1 for Cochrane to chase. And she's rapid across the grounds, and we'll get there. We'll look to put it in towards Giddis. That's well defended. Momentarily at least. And we'll go for a corner on the other side. Good pace from Tamara Cochrane. Giddis will take again. Cochrane plonks herself in front of the goalkeeper. Numbers in the area. Swung in towards Nash, who took a swing, couldn't get there. Hicks was up there as well, and it's probably just wide. On the stretch at the far post by Halpin. He's got a great goal scoring record, as I mentioned. 6 goals in 9 Premier League games for Zoe Halpin.
Yeah, 3 already this season, and 2 assists as well.
Brings a lot of quality from that right flank.
3 goals in 3 games would normally be enough to lead the Golden Boot for at least your club, but...
yeah, not a chance at this one.
When you've got Tamara Cochrane in your team.
Nikias. Good ball in field by Ward. Here they come again. Haven't been able to break through this rear guard yet. Moffat will see that out. First start for Georgia Moffats. in the centre of defence. She played for NU Division 2 last year, Georgia Moffat, so it's quite a step up for her. Here's Giddis. Forcing it wide. Halpin tried to take on her marker. That was well defended once again. Moffat once more.
So far, the ANUW FC defence holding up well, like you said. By this time in the match on the weekend, multiple goals had gone in, but so far looking strong. We haven't seen much of Cochrane so far. It looked like they've definitely put their homework into stopping her. Well,
they've changed the team around slightly with players in different positions, and here's a chance for Holtz to maybe get something going up front. And the chase down this right flank for Fisher. That's well covered in the middle by McLaren. The ball forwards was picked off. Audrey Ward, but the challenge.
The referee just getting
the referee.
Just getting a little bit too involved, the referee there. But accidental, of course.
Terrible touch. Need to work on that a little bit.
That will be in Russ's notes to the referee at the end of the game.
Giddis has played this forward, and a chance for Ward here to maybe try and get something in the penalty area. Nothing doing on that occasion. But early stages, Jordan, and there's not a lot between these two teams.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said before, the ANUW FC defence doing a very good job. West Canberra Wanderers trying a couple of different things, try and break it down, but as of yet, unsuccessful.
Cochrane beaten to it by Moffat. It must have come off the shins of the striker. She's a bit perplexed. Moffat will take the throw for ANU, no hanging around. Emily Mitchell tried to play that forward. The number 9 in midfield. So it does look like what we were told, a 4-5-1 for the university side.
Safety first, defending by Daniela Smith, just putting that out of play.
Leonard to pop it forward. Halpin to help it on. And nothing in the way of trouble for Connie Bishop so far. No Amelia Edevane tonight, overseas I'm told. Crystal King in the dugout for ANU, helping out today.
Overseas on a nice holiday?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Wonder why she wasn't returning my text messages about the team. Makes sense now. For just ghosting me. Got some help off Sophie McGlynn and Crystal King when we got here. Fisher's ball bounces off the shins of Holtz. And Leonard can tidy up at the back. Plenty of time for her to bring it forward as well. Picked off by Mitchell. And a chance for ANU to have a run here. Might come for Tawil, but O'Brien's quickly there. Really positive start from ANU though.
Positive goalkeeping from O'Brien there, of course, will be very familiar with this ground. Joined from Gungahlin at the start of the year.
Allegra Senti's ball bounces off the heels of the intended target in Halpin. Tawil's won it back over on that far side. Scramble in midfield at the moment. Leonard steps in. Punchy ball from Fisher, and Nikias is forced to send it forward. Cochrane helps it on its way. Halpin will take it on and take on Danny Smith. What we like to call the Bunnings warehouse end. Enclosed. So it's more of a side, isn't it?
The Bunnings side.
Beautiful night, as you mentioned, Jordan. Not a breath of wind here at all. I was going to say not breath of air. That would be bad.
Undesirable.
Yeah, not a breath of wind. Beautiful field. I walked on it plenty while we were sorting the goal issue out early on. It's very solid underfoot, considering all the rain that we've had, which is good news. Ward looking for Halpin, and it's playing very true, which is nice for both the players and everybody at home. And I hope you're enjoying what you're watching so far. Not quite the blood and thunder of the cup tie we saw yesterday with the opening, but both these sides just probing and finding a way into the game.
Quite a nice little crowd as well, building as well. Great to see so many people out supporting local football on a midweek action.
Tuggeranong United for Canberra Croatia on the for ANU on the weekend. Canberra Croatia for the Wanderers. Clearances are not too far away. Unable to take advantage. Cochrane to turn. Back for Nash. Nikis. And here's Giddis. Good ball in, and McLaren took it on. It's going to come out for Hicks. It's a heavy touch, but rectifies the situation. That's lovely from Halpin to find Senti. Smith comes across, I think that is. Right over there on that far side. I'm not sure. I'm not good with distances, but that's got to be 300 metres or so. It's miles, isn't it?
Have to bring my binoculars next time I'm here.
It is a long, long, long way away for us at the back of the stands. Bird's eye view at Gungahlin enclosed oval. As West Canberra Wanderers seek a way through. I'm sure they didn't expect it to be quite as straightforward as the weekend was. And it's proving to be exactly the opposite of what they had in that opening stanza, where they killed the game dead entirely. Got themselves another set piece here, though. Good work from Audrey Ward once more.
These corners building up, I believe, the third of the match, if I'm counting correctly. Second for West Canberra Wanderers.
Can they make it count? Plenty in the penalty area to hit. Swung into the near post, helped on his way by Halpin. Couldn't quite get the result she wanted.
Of course, Russ, we've touched on Tamara Cochrane's amazing goal-scoring record so far this season. Should as well give plaudits to Audrey Ward, Perry Nash, both with 3 assists so far this season. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier as well, Zoe Halpin with 2.
Just having a look around here. On my match sheet and on the sheet I've got here, the right back should be Renee Sillett, but it's not. It's Claudia Kendall, wearing number 17, who's actually named as a substitute. And she's playing on the right back here, chasing Alexandra Giddis, who's got it into the area, and it's come here for McLaren, and the first shot on anger is held by Bishop. So they've had a late change in that starting lineup. I wonder if there was a problem on the bench, on the pitch in the warm-up, Jordan.
We touched on there were slight issues with the goals before the match, so problems all around, perhaps, potentially.
Halpin's ball in. It might come for Cochrane. Bishop came to meet it. Good goalkeeping from Connie Bishop.
Very good on these cold nights. Goalkeepers not necessarily moving around the most. They can get a little bit chilly and legs get a little bit stiff, so got to make sure that they constantly stay switched on, because you never know when they might be needed.
One back by Mitchell. Giddis stuck a leg out. Nash takes over. Leonard. Touch opens up the field for Emma Leonard. Plenty of touches early on for Giddis, and Leonard's happy to take over again. Came off Fisher. Moffat can send it forwards. Here's Leonard again, happy to let it roll out of play. So we'll get to the bottom of what happened at the right back situation at half-time, of course.
Hope all is all okay and there wasn't any injuries. Maybe just a last-minute tactical change. I must admit, I came here thinking it would be a bit of a goal fest, West Canberra Wanderers, but so far ANUWFC, especially their defence, holding out very strong.
I don't think you were the only one that might have been thinking that as well, Jordan, to be honest. I'm sure there was a lot of the supporters thinking the same thing. But as you quite rightly said at the start, this is a completely different game, and form does go out the window usually.
And of course, as well, ANU WFC have had a handful of chances as well. So it's not just their defence that they're holding on up strong. They're very much holding their own early in this game.
And any real shot of note from Audrey McLaren, forcing a routine stop from Bishop. Giddis. Weight of possession is with those in white, though. And Giddis might send Cochrane running. And Tamara Cochrane loves these kind of positions. And got there as well and delivered it. And it almost bounced up for Halpin. Coming in from that right flank. It's a deadly duo. But Bishop did well.
Good defending there from, I'm going to mess up the pronunciation, so I'm going to let you do it, but the
Sierra.
French. Sierra, that's it. One-on-one with Cochrane. Just managing to force her a little bit wider than she would have wanted.
Yeah, I had no idea until before kickoff. I had to have a chat with the team management from ANU, and they said, think of Siwa, the singer, but no, Siwa.
Siwa.
As in sear meat. Wow. I was like, okay.
We'll go with that.
Well, that's what she said. So we got it from the player themselves as well. So we like to try and do our best. Which is why they said to us at the beginning, do you want their actual name or the name they prefer to go by? And I said, whatever they want. It's their game after all, isn't it? We're just here to facilitate. Here's Giddis to send it in. Met by Halpin, leaning backwards. Did well to get anything on it.
Starting to have some more chances, albeit half chances. West Canberra Wanderers, they are kind of building. Kind of feel like the resistance may be just starting to break down from the ANUW FC defence. But so far they've been very good.
And as you mentioned, they've shipped a lot of goals already this season.
I think it's 17 in the first 3 league games, if I'm correct.
Not the most in the league.
No, of
that
course.
Belongs to Tuggeranong. They unfortunately caught Belconnen United on a red hot day. Conceded 11. Here's Nikias. I'm sure they're watching tonight, though. Tuggeranong United, they play ANU on the weekend, after their training session. I'm sure they will get the video out and have a look. Good touch from Halpin. Here goes Senti. And got the pace to have a go. But in the main, they've done that really well. The scramble defence from ANU to get back. Senti's still got it, though. Well, it's running across the 6-yard box, and no one wants to take ownership. And in the end, Kendall is happy to shepherd it back to the goalkeeper. Everyone looked at each other.
Almost an embarrassing mix-up, but able to not concede there.
Hanging on in there at the moment as ANU starts to have to do more and more defending. Cochrane. Nikias. Nash. Nice touch for Leonard. Moving in a bit better now, the Wanderers. Steve Rowan-Jones will be a little bit disappointed with their start, I think. Not as crisp as they've been in recent weeks. As you mentioned, and I've said this before, heaps of times before you've come on board, Jordan, as well, over the years. Midweek football in Cup and League is always hard because work, study, life.
Yeah.
Getting yourself here and then getting yourself motivated for that first 45 minutes. It's always the second half is usually better. Come back to that in a minute because here's Tawil and an opportunity. And Holt has just gone offside here. It's a good chance. I thought Shema Tawil might have hit that.
Had a player free on her left and her right. Went with the player on her right. It's just a little bit too much power and a player heads straight into an offside position.
Warning shot across the bows of the Wanderers, though, perhaps. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, it's difficult to motivate yourself to get the legs moving after you've been doing a full day of whatever it is you've been doing. And usually the second half's are a lot better than the first. Yeah,
we've all been there, finished the day of work. You just want to head home and relax on the couch. So it can be hard to get yourself up and motivated, especially now that the weather is certainly getting a bit cooler. I put the heating on at my house for the first time yesterday.
Oh, that's soft, mate. Where are you from?
It's my first Canberra winter.
Whereabouts is your home?
So Adelaide originally, but I've been living in Dubai for the last couple of years.
Well, that's probably why you're cold.
Yeah, I'm used to 45-degree days.
It's a bit soft, mate. It's getting a lot colder than this. That's a lovely turn from Cochrane. Beautifully done. Now wants Giddis to get away. Bishop's come to meet it. Giddis got there first, but couldn't quite divert it onto the target. and a sight of goal. I think Bishop's presence was enough. She collided with Claudia Kendall, who was backtracking as well and has come off second best here.
Brave goalkeeping from Bishop, just going to get some attention here. Is hoping that she is okay to continue, because so far she has been very good.
Annabelle Evans is the backup goalkeeper, I'm told. She might need to get out there and have a warm-up. But that was a lovely turn from Cochrane in the middle of the park, a snapshot of what she can do, a little glimpse. Pass was good as well, and Giddis got there first.
It was good to see as well the West Canberra Wanderers attacker. I think it was Giddis just double-checking on the goalkeeper's well-being and just making sure that she is okay, and hopefully she will be, and okay to continue on the rest of the match.
Well, while we've got a little break, I will go through the sponsors. We didn't get the chance to do at the beginning. Your Federation Cup sponsors for tonight: Allstate Towing, broken down or been in an accident? Give Allstate Towing a call, your 24/7 local trusted towing company. Electro Tinj, proudly supporting the Capital Football Australia Cup qualifying rounds. Kitro Excavations for all your excavation and earth-moving needs. Deakin Club, the family-friendly football club. Rhythm Snowsports, ignite the Stoke. Canberra PC Repair, IT support when you need it most. LJ Hooker, for your real estate needs. Contact Lukas Cole at LJ Hooker. And Xela Construction. Commercial builders, proudly supporting grassroots football. That's your sponsors, and that's why we can bring these games to you live here from the Capital Football YouTube channel. Midway through the first half of this quarter-final, Canberra, Croatia awaiting the winners. No goals at the moment. Nothing between the two teams at all.
Connie Bishop just getting back to her feet. Hopefully she'll be able to continue.
Wanderers are unbeaten in their last 4 against ANU. They've won 3 and drawn 1. Scored 17 in that time. They've conceded only 2. All of this points to them being huge favourites for tonight. But, well, 22 minutes in, coming off the back of a game in which at this stage on the weekend they were 5-0 behind. You have to say you'd be very pleased if you're the ANU WFC coaching staff or support right now.
Someone who may be not so pleased would be Tamara Cochrane, the striker, who I believe at this time on the weekend had already netted herself 5 goals.
Wouldn't bet against her getting on target here. Corner kick for the Wanderers. Giddis to take. To swing it into the middle. Nash met it. On the turn. It's loose in front of goal and the shots come in. Bishop saves it. No idea who hit that through the crowd. But Connie Bishop got her hands on it and forced it wide. I think it was Halpin. And Zoe Halpin again. Michael Reed watching once more. Thanks, Michael. He said it's been a big commentary week for myself. This is my 3rd game in 3 days. Asked me if I was on tomorrow. No, I'm not, because the man next to me is, he must have missed the start. I'm away for the weekend. Jordan's going to do Gungahlin versus Canberra Croatia from this exact vantage point, maybe a little bit more to the left where I'm where I'm stood.
I will be in that position there.
For the men's game tomorrow, I will be tuning in from up in the Kangaroo Valley, having a look at that one.
You'll be tuning in, my boss will be tuning in. I'll be under pressure now tomorrow.
Sending you notes, my friends.
I won't look at my phone at halftime.
Might be able to send you some tidbits that you can use. We'll see. No goals here at the moment, though. Reminder that if this is level after 90 minutes, extra time and penalties may be on the cards. We will see. Extra time definitely would be. Moffat will take the throw. Nodded away by Leonard. He's popped over by Sophie McGlynn. To Wheel using her strength. Just a little handoff like rugby league. Great feet from Tawil as well. Rather shanked by McLaren. Second bite of the cherry for Tawil. And in the end, combination of Senti and Halpin managed to get rid of it. Cochrane to turn and put on the afterburners and go again. Can she find the right ball into the penalty? Yeah, Giddis was arriving. It's back. It was actually Audrey Ward, was Giddis, and she's going again and skipping past the seconds. But just the pace of Cochrane causing problems for Smith out the back there.
She's been able to show her pace just a couple of times so far in this game, but each time the ANUW FC defence been able to cover it. At times looking a little bit shaky, bit of a scramble defence at times, but effective nonetheless.
We mention it when the Women's Federation Cup comes around every year, but we say we'd love to have a Women's Australia Cup. The draw was out for the Australian Championship today, and the Capital Football Men's MPL League champions, the team that finishes top at the regular season, have been drawn into a pool alongside the New South Wales Premier League premiers, Avondale FC as well from Victoria, and Preston Lions. 2 trips to Victoria for whoever finishes top of the pile. And those teams will be coming to Canberra as well, so looking forward to those matches in October, November this year. Long time to go before then. Halpin can't get past the resolute Smith. Hicks abandoning the central defensive role for the time being. Halpin might get onto that loose touch, and does. Can't force her way through, and the strike into the side netting from Perry Nash. Wanderers knocking on the door here.
Some warning signs for ANUWFC. Wanderers just starting to find their groove a little bit. Certainly every time the ball is anywhere near Tamara Cochrane, there's just that little bit of excitement in the air. You can just sort of feel that something is going to happen.
Don't know what's going on over by Bunnings, but that light is really distracting me. I know you probably haven't noticed it. Now I've mentioned it, you won't be able to not see it.
I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but certainly the light illuminating the Bunnings sign is
flashing away.
Yeah, looks like they'll need to go and get a globe. Do you know a good hardware store where you can get a globe for the Bunnings light?
I don't think so. Could try one from Pet Barn up that end as well. I mean, you could watch the match from one of those high rises behind the goal. You wouldn't get it. You'd be closer than we are probably if you're at the top. Ward looking for Halpin. Nice touch. Nash couldn't give it back. Now the break might be on at the other end. It's Smith on the burst. Well covered by Hicks. Leonard's clearance. Smith has stayed up there. Did keep it in, but now the break might be on for Ward. There's space for Halpin. Just to send Cochrane, even though she's that quick, she's going to struggle to get there. Now Moffat and Bishop need to be careful here. Just about get it done. Cochrane will pick up the pieces and go across goal, but Bishop had retreated well. It does feel like it's coming, though, for the Wanderers. Half an hour in.
Wanderers certainly starting to get on top in this game, but we saw just before ANUWFC did have a chance. Some good defending from Hicks to deal with the danger.
Perry Nash thought about the shot, rolled it in instead to Halpin. Ward. It might be the way through, Jordan. It's been a packed ANU defence. They've got wide, they've put a couple across it, it's not worked. You're wondering if that in that area where Perry Nash was, they might just fancy themselves and have a dig, see how Connie Bishop copes with that. Because it might be that kind of night, and everywhere they've gone, it's been stifled so far.
Yeah, well, we saw a little bit earlier, Connie Bishop, the goalkeeper, did have to get some medical attention. I certainly hope that she's okay, but potentially could be suffering a little bit of an injury through this game, so
It's done well so far, and so is the entirety of the ANU team. 30 minutes in, half an hour gone. Halpin, goal kick was a bit short, and Halpin does try one from distance, and Bishop shovels it around the post. Well, there you go.
It's a powerful shot there from Halpin.
Giddis will take the corner kick. Look to send it into the penalty area. He's gone short. Senti on the turn, and then overcooks it, really. Giddis will get a second chance. No nonsense defending from ANU, just getting rid of it, and don't blame them. It's getting closer, though, you feel. Delivery into the middle needs to be dealt with, and it's not, and Ward almost got on the end of it.
I think you're certainly right in what you said a few moments ago. Quite a packed defence from ANU WFC. The times where the Wanderers have looked best, they've been using their wide players, especially down that far side as well, the right-hand side.
Well, they're looking to go now with Ward. Sentient stayed up. And Fisher can touch it for Mitchell. Well one back by McLaren. Cochrane. And here goes Giddis. First touch was too heavy, and that's a let-off again for ANU. It's been impressive, though, that their defensive recovery, considering where they found themselves earlier this season. You mentioned the defeats they've had. They were heavily beaten 5-0 by Majura in round 1, 4 by Croatia, 8 on the weekend. Yet to score a goal. They've conceded 39 goals in their last 7 matches across the end of 2024 and the start of this year. In the 3 matches to date, though, they'd shipped 10 goals in the opening 20 minutes. ANU, so this is a marked improvement for them. They'll be very proud of what they've put in defensively so far. Mitchell's touch. McGlynn shovels it forward. Spins away from Nash. Indy Hunter with the touch wide. And Smith's under pressure from Halpin. And concedes a free kick and a set-piece opportunity for the Wanderers. Might this be the breakthrough?
They have looked dangerous from their corners. They've had a fair few so far in this first half. This, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the first free kick they'll have in an attacking area where they can get the ball into the box.
There's barely been a free kick. The midfield duo there of Mitchell and Hunter. Mitchell from Victoria, Hunter from Sydney. Cosmopolitan outfit, this university side, as you'd expect. Should have asked them what they're all studying. I'm sure they're all at uni somewhere. Hicks, and you I'd imagine. Hicks
I was thinking that.
Yeah, Hicks with the free kick. Not exclusively need to be at NU to play for them. Swings it into the near post. It's come off a defender and it must be on the far post. It is. It's a simple goal. Tapped in on the far stick. Not sure who got the touch on the end of it. Might have been Halpin. Might have been Giddis.
I think it was Giddis, the number 4.
Just unmarked and pokes it over the goal line. And with 10 minutes before the break, the set piece is the breakthrough. And Alexandra Giddis opens the scoring. It's ANU 0, Wanderers 1.
They've done well, the ANU defence so far, but just a little bit of a mix-up. Player getting ahead on the ball when perhaps wasn't necessary. Bishop did sort of look like she had that free kick covered until her defender got involved.
Took it away from the keeper.
Bit of a mix-up. They'll be disappointed because they have played so well. The defence as a unit has played so well so far in this match.
And now's the key moment in the game for them. How do they respond? Can they keep their calm? Or will that open the door? And here goes Giddis again. Sends herself wide with her first touch. Fires it across. Bishop can't get there, and it's turned onto the side of the post by Cochrane coming in. And it was almost 2 in 2 minutes. Well, Alexandra Giddis is having an excellent game on this near side.
Just going back to the goal a few moments ago, we touched on the slight defensive error. Credit, though, has to be extended out to Giddis, who was able to find herself in the right place at the right time.
It wasn't the cleanest of finishes, was it? It kind of bounced off her and then she just rifled it in the roof of the net. Doesn't matter, does it, really, as long as it goes in?
They all count for the same amount of goals.
Mitchell prods it forwards. Brian wants to take control of the situation.
Giddis might be telling her friends tomorrow that was a goal from 20 yards out.
Unfortunately, the video evidence will suggest otherwise. It's a problem these days. Everything's filmed.
Yeah.
Back in my day, you could tap one in from a yard, and a couple of years later, you could tell everyone it was from halfway line, and everyone would believe you. No proof. Not that I ever went much outside the 6-yard box, as those people who know me quite well will tell you.
Yeah, you can just pretend you did.
Had to run sometimes, I guess. Wasn't my favourite part of it.
And I was a goalkeeper back in my playing days, so the main reason I chose that is because I didn't have to run.
Everyone's friend, a goalkeeper. because you've got someone who can go between sticks and you can slam some shots at. Mitchell, good challenge. And you sticking in there at the moment. This 4-5-1 formation is solid. 8 minutes to the break. They trail by 1. Cochrane's touch is nice. Stabbed away by Claudia Kendall. Run back by Cochrane. From Wagga, Tamara Cochrane comes down to train, comes down to play. It's a fair old whack of a journey. The 19-year-old forwards. Stephanie Kiss, who's been around this Wanderers outfit for quite some time. 80 MPL appearances to her name. She's certainly been a mainstay. No Demi Nikias tonight, injured. Not missing her just yet, although they do miss a player of that quality.
You said after the goal that this was a crucial couple of minutes for ANU WFC. They almost conceded the second.
They're in danger of doing so here as Cochrane bounces past a couple and rolls it across, and this is a real chance for 2, and it is. Stabbed in by Zoe Halpin. Created by Cochrane, and Halpin continues her goal-scoring record, and the Wanderers have got a sense of relative calm now. They're 2 up.
Yeah, wonderful play from Cochrane, just not giving up on getting that ball into the danger area, finding a teammate who had the simple job of popping in the back of the net.
When you defend a lot, tiredness can become a part. And 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes have given Wanderers 1 foot in the semi-finals. A long way back here from ANU. Never going to say never after what we saw last night at Canberra. Nash, Halpin. Delivery's good into the middle again. It's going to cause problems. Cochrane couldn't get it under control. Moffat clears only as far as Halpin, who swings it in. Bishop gets a touch on it. Giddis is denied by the goalkeeper. Nash. They're hungry for more now. Senti. For the first time, and you look rattled.
Well, what can give them confidence, certainly towards the end of this half and going into the second half, is they have had chances. O'Brien in goal for the Wanderers. She's had some work to do, so when they do get a chance, they do create chances.
Giddis through 1, through 2. Pops one off for Nash. Thumped clear, and they need to get hold of it up top and give themselves a bit of a break if they can. Josie Holt's been a willing runner, but hasn't been able to get much in the way of ball to feet. Hicks under pressure, plays around it nicely. Senti's got bags of space. Looks for Cochrane down the middle. Might come all the way through here for Giddis. Flag goes up. Well, no, it hasn't. It's gone for a foul, in fact.
Free kick in a very dangerous area, this.
Yeah, I thought the advantage might have been played as Giddis was coming in, but they've pulled it back for a foul on Tamara Cochrane, who might fancy this from this range. She's certainly the only one near the ball.
Just before this free kick is taken, it looks like a slight injury concern for ANU WFC.
I think it's Claudia Kendall, the fullback.
I'm hearing the word ankle yelled out, so Hez hoping nothing too serious. It does look like she'll be needing some medical attention, though. I don't know if the ref spotted it as of yet.
I think there's a substitution going to happen in between us. Renee Sillette, who we were told was starting, is going to come on here, and this will confuse the refs if that's not what they've had in their book.
What'll be even more confusing is Renee Sillette has just put her bib back on. So, because I saw, like you did, Sillette taking off her bib, getting warmed up, getting ready to go. A moment ago, she put her bib back on.
Well, they might see if they can see this one out. There's a couple of minutes to half-time. Claudia Kendall might say, well, no, I can see this through the 45. Well, she has to go off because she's had a bit of treatment.
She's running a little bit gingerly, but...
Well, eyes back on the free kick. Tamara Cochrane over it. Can she get it on target? 10 goals already this season. Can't get it past Moffat, who stood firm.
Claudia Kendall back with us, says hoping that she's all good.
Well, she's only got, like I say, a minute or two to see through the half-time and can get a bit of treatment on it and see how that goes for the second half. Hicks finds Ward. Halpin's peeled away. Smith, the ever-present company over on that flank. It's nicely done by Ward as well. And here's Giddis for 3. Great save by Bishop. Stunning stop to her right.
Wonderful stop. It looked like it was just going to trickle into that bottom corner, but Bishop able to get a strong enough hand on that and deflect it wide. Very good keeping from the ANU WFC keeper.
Alexandra Giddis thought she was getting a second. Connie Bishop denies her for the time being. How long for, though? Swung into the danger area by Zoe Halpin. It's met by Danny Smith, I think it was, doing the defensive work. Halpin will have another go. Again, a really good-looking corner into the danger area. Different angle for Halpin now. Giddis feeds Halpin once more. And you will bring it away. Holt for Fisher. Nikias just steps across. And as we approach the final 90 seconds of the half, Jordan, it took them a while, West Canberra Wanderers, to break the deadlock, but now they look comfortable.
Certainly very good defending from ANU WFC, being able to hold out the Wanderers for 35 minutes or so in this first half.
When the goals came, they came in quick succession.
Well, like you say, it did sort of almost seem inevitable. It was building towards a Wanderers goal, and like you said, after one, the second followed just a couple of minutes later.
Will they be able to get one back? Hunter from McGlynn's pass. Well tackled by Ward. Spaces to be exploited now from those in whites. Perry Nash to send it forward. That's really good defensive work by Siwa. Senti, lovely feet. Explosive run. And the ball across, and it's turned towards an near post. McLaren had made the forward run. Couldn't steer it past Bishop.
Some good keeping by Bishop, keeping this at 2 just before the half.
Hicks won it. Didn't know a lot about it. Senti's getting a lot of joy down that flank in association with Halpin, who's on possession. Ward cuts inside nicely. Couldn't line up the shot though. Smith gets rid of it, only for a moment. Hicks. Halpin. Ward's touch. And Cochrane snuck in. Keeper didn't see her coming. And she's teed it up here for Giddis. This time, surely no. Scuffed it goalwards. And it's hacked away off the goal line by the recovering Kendall. I think that was Kendall, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Who did the defensive work. Twice now, Giddis denied a second. Ward knocks it in towards Halpin.
Despite the scoreline, ANU WFC can certainly go into halftime with a bit of confidence. Their defence has certainly been, we'll come back to this in a moment.
Yeah, they don't want to concede a third here, and they might. Halpin across goal, and there was no one to get on the end of it.
Almost the commentator's
You
curse.
almost killed them off there, Jordan.
Well, like I was saying, their defence has been very solid. Certainly these two teams played over the weekend, and by this stage in that match, I think it would have been about 6-0 or so.
Game over by this stage, wasn't it? Cochrane had 6, and it was done and dusted.
And like I've said, ANU WFC have had chances. You know, O'Brien in the Wanderers goal has had to be at her best on a couple of occasions. You never know if they're able to capitalise on one of them. Bit of momentum shifts in the second half.
Well, they're still in the cup tie, aren't they, at the moment? How long for remains to be seen.
It's cup football. Anything can happen.
At the moment, though, it looks more likely that we'll get a Wanderers third than an ANU first on the balance, but you never know. Here goes Mitchell. And a chance maybe for Holt. Nikias comes across. It only takes a moment.
Well, that's all they need. Something like that. That ball sticks to the striker, Holt, who manages to get it past O'Brien in goal, and all of a sudden, teams go into half-time with different mentalities. Very different mentality, being 2-1 down, just scored, the momentum on your side, as opposed to being 2-0 down.
Well, they'll head into the half-time interval very shortly indeed. We had a little bit of a break, didn't we, when Connie Bishop went down injured, and that one when Claudia Kendall as well. These are the minutes we're playing now. Look at the watch from Thomas Love, the referee. Thomas Love, the referee, by the way, is known as Courtney. Courtney Love, because there's so many Toms around that they call him Courtney. I mean, I said I'll get it in the commentary. And I did.
Well, there you go,
I'm
right
sure
on
he'd
time.
Love that. And
right on time, Courtney blows the whistle.
He does indeed. He brings us to half-time. Thomas Courtney Love with
it's got a ring to it.
It does, doesn't it? With West Canberra Wanderers 2-0 up, and Jordan Nera one step towards the semi-final. 2-0 is always a difficult scoreline, isn't it? Because the next goal is critical. But they've looked good, Wanderers, and they look more likely to get a third than you do to get back into this, to be honest, at the moment.
Yeah, certainly, like you say, Wanderers, we're sort of 1 foot in the next round of the Cup, but you never know. We've said it multiple times before, and I'm sure we'll say it multiple times again. Cup football, anything can happen. Throw the league form out the window. You never know what's going to happen in the second half. I'm looking forward to it, though. 1
foot and maybe a couple of toes in the last four. Canberra-Croatia waits. 2 goals in 4 minutes towards the end of the half from Alexandra Giddis and Zoe Halpin. Meaning that the break here at Gungahlin enclosed. It's ANU 0, West Canberra Wanderers 2. Welcome back to Gungahlin in close. We're at half-time in the Women's Federation Cup quarter-final. It's ANU 0, West Canberra Wanderers 2. Alexandra Giddis and Zoe Halpin with the goals. There's been a couple of changes to the ANU team at the break. Sienna Price has joined us for Sophie McGlynn in midfield. And there's a change in goal as Annabelle Evans comes on for Connie Bishop, who was suffering a little after that knock that she got in meeting Alexandra Giddis, but was cleaned out by her own player. Number 17, Claudia Kendall. I'm Russ Gibbs. Jordan Bocock is still with me. Unsurprisingly, he's not gone anywhere. Had a chat with the refs at half-time, told them about the number changes in the team.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. They're all over it now, so they know if she comes on, they're not going to look at each other confused, going, hang on a minute, what's going on there? Plenty to do for ANU. Did speak to a couple of their management staff at half-time. They're pretty happy with how they've gone about it at the moment, because defensively, a lot more switched on and a lot better than they've been all year.
Well, yeah, they have done very well defensively. A couple of slight lapses for the goals, but compared to how they did on the weekend, I don't want to keep bringing it up for ANU fans, but it wasn't the best weekend. And so far, yeah, they should be very proud and have a lot of confidence after their first half.
And it may blow out. It may well do in this second half, but that 45 minutes will give them plenty of encouragement heading into the rest of the campaign. We will see. And let's not write them off just yet. Recent cup suggestions or forms suggest that a 2-goal lead, even with time ticking away, might not be enough.
Well, certainly, Russ, I don't know if you remember, but at the start of the month I was with you at a Cup men's game, O'Connor up against Gungahlin, I think it was.
I do remember it.
This exact scoreline at half-time, 2-0, looking relatively comfortable were O'Connor, and then all of a sudden, second half, 5 goals for Gungahlin out of nowhere.
Yeah, that
to
blew
win
out.
that 5-2. I think we were all a bit in shock after that. So
not as shocked as O'Connor Knights were.
Exactly. But it can happen.
They haven't got over it yet. Their league form suggests they haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It can happen. Who knows? The next one, as we mentioned plenty of times before, is pretty critical.
It's one of the best things about cup football. It can throw up shocks and surprises, and you never know what you're going to expect.
Ward finds McLaren. Busy midfielders. The two Audreys.
Certainly in that first half, West Canberra Wanderers looked a lot better when they were attacking down the wings. Certainly the right wing. They're going down the left now. But certainly that's when they looked their best.
Moffat goes across to meet Ward. Yeah, Giddis and Halpin got a lot of joy. The wide forwards. Less so for Cochrane, who has been heavily marked in the middle. Her mum told me at half-time that she has a nickname that she calls herself, and she calls herself Ranger.
Ranger?
Because she's ginger. And she calls herself that.
Wow.
And I was like, well, there you go.
Would you like us to call her that in the second half?
Probably not. But she's been heavily marked, unsurprisingly. 10 goals in 3 games would suggest you're going to get marked. And that, for a young striker, is something you have to learn to live with. The more you go up and the more goals you score, the more your name is heard, and the more players will go, well, hang on, let's keep tight to this one.
Yeah, certainly ANU WFC have done their homework and have kept Cochrane quite quiet in that first half. Did have a couple of chances. A couple of times she was able to use her pace. Certainly, like you say, in the second half, legs started to get a bit tireder. Game starts to open up. Potentially, Cochrane could have a very busy second half. That's something ANUFC will have to make sure they're aware about and keep a close eye on her.
As with any good team player, though, it doesn't really matter who scores the goals as long as your team's getting the job done, and they are at the moment. It is to wheel for ANU. Shooting chance for her as well. Draws it goalwards. Oh, it's a stunner. Shamer to wheel pulls one back out of the blue. First goal of the season for ANU, and it is one out of the top draw. And 3 minutes into the second half, they're back in the cup tie.
We were saying a goal can turn it around. That's what they need, something special. The top corner, nothing O'Brien could do in goal. She was diving to her right, but that went straight into the top corner, almost burst a hole in the net. What a strike, this cup tie we're on.
To wheel for ANU. And from a position of relative comfort, now it will be a bit twitchy for the Wanderers. They will need to reevaluate themselves and reassert their authority. But an opening for Tawil, and she took it with aplomb.
What a strike.
Here goes Giddis in response, looking for the immediate response. How often do you see it? Cochrane goes into the middle. Important that they can keep them out for a moment, for a bit here. Here's Perry Nash. Giddis tiptoeing through the crowd and wins the corner.
You mentioned it before that Cochrane was being very tightly marked there, unable to get any room with the ball. The wind's starting to pick up here.
Do you know what? I'm about to do my coat up for the first time this season, I think.
It's official.
It is getting a bit cooler.
There was not a breath of wind in the first half. Slight little bit of wind in the second half, going towards the left of screen.
Well, when you're as high as we are, base camp, it's a long way down. Senti.
Yeah, you went down the stairs to the ground at halftime. I just stayed up here.
I did.
I couldn't be bothered walking back up the stairs.
Well, you're acclimatised, aren't you? I took myself out of it. Here's Hicks. That's a good-looking ball into the middle. Evans can't get there. It's going to come loose, and Giddis thought she was going to score. Not for the first time. It's Claudia Kendall to block, and might have had a hat-trick tonight, Giddis. Good defending again.
Wonderful defending from Kendall. Did have a slight injury cloud at the end of the second half. Looking like she's okay. Managing to get in the way and stop that shot from what looked like it would be a certain goal for the Wanderers.
As you mentioned, she looks like she's okay. She's just doubled over and rubbing at something.
I hope I haven't put the commentator's curse
Jordan.
on her.
What are you doing? But again, Giddis might have had 3 or 4 tonight. Has got one. Cochrane's come to receive. Giddis. Drop of the shoulder. And the ball in is dealt with. Now there might be a break on here. Holt to Wheel, the goal scorer. Runs into McLaren. Cochrane. Nash can't get there. Rangy stride of Smith. Sorry, Jordan.
We didn't see much of Tawil in that first half. Certainly after that strike a few moments ago, Wanderers will definitely be paying close attention to her for the rest of this game.
Just coming back after a fairly long-term injury. Shaman Tawil played a bit of the Capital Futsal League that we have in the off-season, the season before last. The injury kept her out for a fair old whack, and that's what they've been missing. Good goal that to get them back into contention. Clipped in by Hicks. That might go anywhere. Cochrane's alert to it and still might get there and forces a stop from Evans.
Certainly next time Tawil gets the ball on the edge of the box, I think we know what she's going to be attempting.
Well, they'll be encouraging it, won't they? Not a lot Gabby O'Brien could do about that. Straight out the top draw. Halpin's touch. Moffat gets a bit fortunate. It's Price, the substitute, thumping into the channel with the challenge. Senna Price played a bit of football in the New South Wales NPL. Bit of pedigree behind her as well. Might be a good acquisition this for this university side. A couple of games already this season in the league.
Obviously no goal yet for the Wanderers, but since that goal from ANUWFC, it looks like they've managed to get hold of this game again. They do seem to be on top, certainly in the last couple of minutes, and had that golden chance a couple of moments ago to Giddis, just unable to put it into the back of the net.
Well, we saw yesterday in the Tuggeranong game, not to harp on about it, but they had plenty of chances in the first half to put it to bed, Tuggeranong, and they couldn't. And then when Ugali got the opportunities to get back into it, they took theirs, and all of a sudden we had a cup tie, and it's a very similar feel.
Well, how often do we see that in football, full stop, where one team can dominate, just unable to convert their chances, and the other team manages to capitalise?
It's a player down for ANU. I think it might be Josie Holt, perhaps. I'll double check that in for you in a minute. It's difficult to see, but just went down off the ball.
Certainly hoping she is okay. The ANUWFC physio is certainly getting their money's worth tonight. It's been out on the pitch quite a number of times.
It gives us a chance once again to tell you all about our cup sponsors. All State Towing, broker down or been in an accident? Give All States Towing a call, your 24/7 local trusted towing company. Electro Tinj, proudly supporting the Capital Football Australia Cup qualifying rounds. Deakin Club, the family-friendly football club. Kitro Excavations, for all your excavation and earth-moving needs. Rhythm Snowsports, ignite the stoke. Canberra PC Repair, IT support when you need it most. LJ Hooker, for your real estate needs. Contact Lukas Cole at LJ Hooker. And Xela Construction, commercial builders proudly supporting grassroots football. Whoever's injured can get up now. We've done the sponsors.
I was just watching while we do have this break down the rest of the ANU players are by the sideline and getting a very motivational rev up from their coach. I think they can sense that something could happen here, you know?
Yeah, this is far from done. Unfortunately for, I think it is Holt, her evening might be done. That looks a bit sore.
Yeah, just getting some support coming from the field. Hes hoping that all is good, that she is able to continue, but...
Kilky Letten, Alina van den Boogaard, Janat Al-Sarai, the options on the bench, Renee Sillet, the defender. Don't think they've made a change. They might have. I think they have they?
I think they're about to. I can see Elvin Ibrahim just getting ready, taking a bib off. I think she'll be joining us in just a few moments.
Probably not for ANU, considering she's a Wanderers player, mate. Looking at the wrong team
sheet. Yeah, sorry. Wrong. My mistake. Wrong number 15.
It's Alina van den Boogaard.
My mistake. Good point.
Mid-season, mid-match transfer. quite impressive.
Well, these Wanderers players have changed numbers. Maybe, you never know. Half-time change of team.
You won't be the first or last to do that. I've done that before as well, mate. Alina van den Boogaard up top. The beauty of live TV, isn't it? Danny Smith with the throw. But yeah, that was Holt's evening done. We might see Ibrahim later on, former Tuggeranong United player.
Let's hoping Holt
and Wagga City Wanderers.
Let's hoping Holt is all good and can get back on the pitch quite soon. Isn't out for too long because she has played very well tonight.
Yeah, she's run the line well, hasn't she? She put a lot of effort in. Fisher on that far side. Challenge comes across. I called a goal on the weekend for a player who was off the park. I'm sure she wanted to take it. Nothing worse from a commentator than calling the wrong player when they score. And it's so hard sometimes when you're in the middle of seeing something from so far away. Fisher can't get on the end of that.
They're building here, ANUFC. They've had the ball sort of down there attacking half the last couple of minutes.
They absolutely are. They feel, as you said, they were getting a rev up on the sideline. They sense that there's something up for them in this cup tie here.
You know, potentially that suffering that heavy defeat on the weekend has inspired them. They've come here tonight. They don't want to repeat, and you know they've got that little bit of confidence that hey, maybe we can take this to extra time if they can level it up. Penalties, you never know what could happen.
It's remarkable in cup football how often the draw throws up games between teams that have played each other very recently. We saw Gungahlin and Tuggeranong meet each other yesterday, having met on Sunday down in Griffith. We've got Tigers versus Gungahlin next week. They only met last weekend. This one here today as well. It's funny how cup football does that for you. It's almost like a prequel on the weekend to this one. And they've learnt their lesson, ANU, and they've come out here a different looking side, a more compact and organised side. The Wanderers, well, as comfortable as they looked at the break, are less so now.
What do they say? 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline?
And a prime example there, Liv Hicks and Senti not on the same page. Danny Smith will take the throw. As Canberra can bring it clear. Giddis looking for Halpin. And now there's a lot of room for Giddis to run into. Cochrane's with her. Cochrane decides to take over. Might fancy this Tamara Cochrane. Can strike them and does strike them. And that's why she's got 10 goals this season. You can make that 11. That's a finish and a half from a player in form. And it might be the one that puts the Wanderers through.
ANUFC, they were building. However, just one little lapse to the back, one moment for Tamara Cochrane. We've talked before about how wonderful she has been in front of goal this year, and there's just another example of it. Fantastic strike into the bottom corner.
Not quite the 60-minute mark, but cometh the 59th minute. Cometh the leading goal scorer. Almost pushed Alexandra Giddis out of the way and said, don't worry about it, I've got this. And restores that 2-goal cushion and a relative breathing space. Super finish, not a chance that Evans was going to get across to that.
Fantastic finish as well. Was under pressure, had a couple of defenders around her, but was able to find that little bit of room, get her foot on it and put it into the bottom corner of the net. Fantastic finish.
Strike of a player in form.
Be interesting to see what happens from here for ANU. Like I said, they were building. They did have that little bit of confidence, of momentum. Hopefully for their sake, that goal doesn't sort of wipe all that away, and hopefully they can fight back. You never know if they get another goal, back to 1 goal. Cup football.
Well, no matter what happens in this last half an hour, and they're going to have to go looking for goals if they want to keep themselves in the hunt here. And they might get picked off a few times. They can look back at this first hour of football and be very pleased with what they've done. It's the best they played this season by a mile. And Amelia Erdevane watching overseas, and Crystal King in the dugout. They'll be pleased with what they've seen from their troops. They won't want it to blow out, and they don't deserve it to.
But like with what you say, with them taking confidence from this game, certainly not saying that this game is over by any means, and probably a little bit too early to start looking ahead towards their next games. But they do take on Tuggeranong United on the weekend coming up, and Tuggeranong have had a bit of a leaky defence, currently bottom of the table.
Yeah, who knows what might happen there? How are they going to react to this one? Still time for them to try and get back into it. As you mentioned, the recent cup successes of teams that have turned things around. Halpin Giddis has gone in behind here. Oh, the cross is delightful. Unfortunately, there's no one from a Wanderers shirt on the far post to get the nod in. Would have been a simple finish. Nash as well to keep it in. Wonderfully flighted cross though from Alexandra Giddis. Cochrane. Halpin. Cochrane managed to stay on side. That's a good ball in as well. Evans does well to meet it. And then has lost it. And they can't get it away. They do now. Hooked forward by Mitchell. I think Evans was trying to distribute before she caught.
It was a wonderful cross as well in from Cochrane, right into that danger area.
I'll tell you what though, this front three from the Wanderers, Cochrane, Halpin, Giddis, they're going to cause problems to some teams. Plenty of movement, plenty of ability.
Certainly we mentioned ANU playing Tuggeranong this weekend. Wanderers, they are away to Canberra, Croatia. Sunday afternoon, Deakin Stadium.
Real test of their credentials, that one. Against a Canberra, Croatia side who pushed Belconnen United all the way last weekend out at Kaleen. Recovered from 2-0 down to lead 3-2 before finally losing 4-3. Evans with the goal kick. Can't get it over the head of Giddis. Cochrane. Giddis again. Perry Nash has joined in and Perry Nash has scored. A lazy flick of the right boot. Giddis creates it and Nash flicks one home. And the Wanderers look home and hosed. Wonderful finish, it's 4-1.
It's almost as if the Wanderers looked at Sawil's strike a little bit earlier in this half and said, yeah, good goal, but we can do better. They're bringing out the flair. That goal from Cochrane before from distance, wonderful into the bottom corner. And then that one as well, just like you said, a lazy flick past Evans in goal.
Beautifully finished by Perry Nash. Ghosted in unmarked and got a touch there. Got the finish it deserved, Giddis's ball. Meanwhile, chance for Mitchell. Steve Rowan-Jones in front of us just called his entire bench back to the dugout, and I'm wondering if we're going to see a wholesale change at some stage. Everyone seems to be getting ready down there. Please don't chuck all four on at once.
Certainly we said at half-time, Wanderers with 1 foot in the next round of the Cup. Certainly, although...
Effort from a long way out.
Certainly not home and hosed just yet, but certainly you'd like to think they're 1 foot and maybe 9 4 toes, 9 toes in total. That's what I'm trying to say.
It would take a miracle comeback from the ANU side from this distance. Out.
Nothing that Annabelle Evans could do about those goals in this second half. Always tricky for a backup goalkeeper to come on because you don't expect to be needed. So rarely does the backup goalkeeper actually come on. So all of a sudden to have that message at halftime saying you're on can sometimes be a bit tricky to get yourself warmed up and mentally into the match as well.
Free kick whipped into the danger area. O'Brien did well and was fouled. And I think there might be a card here. There's a yellow card that comes out for Danny Smith, I think.
Speaking of wonderful keeping from Evans, wonderful keeping there as well from Gabby O'Brien. Brave keeping coming out. A wonderful ball delivered into that danger area, that area of the pitch where goalkeepers go, should I come out, should I stay? She decided to come out, came out strongly, got the ball, got fouled, is down at the moment. Here's hoping that she is all good to continue.
I think it was Smith that may have picked up the yellow. Abigail Moss, Elvin Ibrahim, Bria Waters. Trio of subs getting ready to join us. And this is where it's going to be great because they're going to do it while they're in a huddle and we have to guess who's coming off. I wouldn't be getting to the bench too quickly. You might be dragged. Everyone wants a drink while Gabby O'Brien gets some treatments.
Just had someone from the crowd yelling out support for Ranger or Tamara Cochran.
We're going to see who's going to come off. This is going to be great because I think they're going to do all three of them while we're stood in front of us. Bria Waters, first appearance of the season, coming back from injury. Alvin Ibrahim, who's made a couple of appearances off the bench. And Abigail Moss, who works alongside myself at Capital Football, will come on.
They're going to do these substitutes obscured by the dugout as well.
Absolutely they are. I mean, this is where we get paid the mediocre dollars. Cochran's one of them coming off.
Cochran's night is done. She's been fantastic.
McLaren and Ward, I think, are the other two that have come away. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the 3 changes.
Looks spot on to me. Meanwhile, Gabby O'Brien, she's still down, getting some treatment from the physio. Has been down a little while. Certainly do hope that she is all good to continue. Just slowly getting to her feet now.
And Tamara Cochran's going to go down to the tunnel, probably to get some warm clothes on, I imagine, because the temperature's dropped a bit. Now then, pick out where everybody's playing, because this is going to be fun. We'll see where everybody puts themselves on the field. Bria Waters has gone up front as the 9. Abigail Moss has dropped herself into an advanced 10 role, and Elvin Ibrahim into the centre of midfield. So it looks almost like the shape's the same, just the personnel has changed. Senti. Challenge is good from Hunter. Nash sends it forwards. Bit of a swing and a miss from Smith.
In that myriad of changes, we should say as well, Gabby O'Brien, all good. She is still on the park, so hoping that she is all good and can see out the rest of the match.
Going to say, swing and a miss. Josh on camera would know all about that, being a cricketer. Plenty of swings and misses in your time, I'd imagine. Just shaking his head. Every single one of his been over the boundary.
You can tell by his camera work whether Josh is happy with that remark or not.
If it suddenly goes blank.
You know why.
Yeah. I'll get my coat. I've already got it on, actually. 4-1 to the Wanderers. Semi-final half a half away from them. And they're looking good for it at the moment. So much so that they've taken off 3 of their main protagonists to perhaps rest them for the weekend.
Well, of course, Thursday night's their next game on Sunday, so what's that, a 3-day turnaround?
I forget what day of the week it is these days. So much football going on.
I had to check the amount of times I had to look on my phone to tell me what day of the week it is. concerning.
Scooped away at the back. Hicks with the clearance. The positive from the ANU outfit is their first goal of the campaign.
And what a goal it was as well.
Take nothing away from Shemmer to Wheels. Scorcher. You could make a case, arguably, for it being the goal of the night. I mean, Cochrane's was classic centre-forward play, but, you know, make a case for whichever way you want, I guess, can't you? Smith with another throw. Price was involved. That ball in has taken a nick.
Always a bit of danger when it takes a deflection. It could go anywhere. That time, thankfully, for the Wanderers, straight into the arms of O'Brien in goal.
It was Van den Boogaard who had the shot. Tanner Price does well defensively. Getting involved, and we're going to see another change here. It's ANU who are going to make it. It's Janat Al-Sarai who's come on. And it's Indy Hunter who's made way. Senti with a throw. Worked hard, Indy Hunter, in midfield. Diminutive figure, got around, good engine. Got stuck into the challenges as well.
Certainly, despite the scoreline, it's hard to pick out a player from ANU that's had a bad game. Certainly, they've all played well. That defensive unit has played well. Just the quality from those couple of Wanderers strikers. Wonderful finish from Cochrane. That has really been the difference tonight.
Four minutes between the first two goals. 4 minutes between the second two goals.
There you go.
Ironically.
Glad you had your stopwatch on that, because I didn't.
4-1 the score. Senti been strong at fullback. Got involved a lot up front as well. Ibrahim. Nice layoff from Waters to find it. Steph Nikias. Alvin Ibrahim. Olivia Hicks. Looking for Waters. Nice little touch. Moss. Looking for Halpin. Nice turn by Tawil. But Senti stuck to the task. Really strong game from Allegra Senti. Prototypical modern fullback. Likes to get involved in the attack as often as possible, but doesn't neglect the main part of the fullback duty, which is to do the defensive side of it. The diligence in the dirty work is always appreciated by coaches.
Certainly has had a good match. To wheel her direct opponent, bar that sensational goal, especially in the first half, was relatively unsighted.
Van der Boogaard's worked hard since she's come on. Number 15 up tops. Smith with the throw again. Looking for Tawil. Hicks won it. Senti can't help it forward. Reminder that we will bring you both Women's Federation Cup semi-finals live on the YouTube channel. Canberra Olympic versus Belconnen United. Canberra Croatia versus, it looks like, West Canberra Wanderers. The men's semi-finals will also be live for you. Tuggeranong United versus Canberra Croatia is confirmed next week. Tuesday we'll see Queanbeyan City versus Brindabella Blues from South Jerrabomberra Regional Sporting Complex live on Tuesday night, and on Wednesday night it's Gungahlin United versus Tigers FC. And those winners from those two sides will meet each other in the other semi-final. The prize on offer, a place in the Australia Cup qualifying final, and of course a place in the round of 32 for the winners.
Some tired legs on that far side having to go retrieve that ball. I think it was Brown who drew the short straw, had to chase after it. Yeah, I don't think Brown's going to run after that one. Oh. But there is so much footballing action as well this weekend. Big round of fixtures in the NPLW. Majura take on Canberra Olympic. Belconnen up against Gungahlin. Canberra Croatia up against the Wanderers. And Tuggeranong United taking on ANU WFC. All those games If you can't make it to them, you can see them live on the Capital Football YouTube. But certainly, if you're not doing anything over the weekend, highly recommend going out and seeing them. They're on Sunday, so voting in the election, that'll be done.
What did you do mine today?
Oh, have you already done yours?
Pre-voting. Guinness takes it forward.
I always wait till Saturday. I always want my democracy sausage.
Do you know what? I'm going to be controversial here. I hate a democracy sausage. It tastes terrible. It's not the democracy part of it. I think the sausage part of it.
Can't believe you said that.
Just to clarify, okay? not suggesting that we should live in a totalitarian regime or anything along those lines. Renee Selette is going to join us a little bit later than advertised. We thought she was going to get the start. Yeah, I've never been into Selette comes on for Kendall, yeah, what we thought was going to be the other way around.
There you go. Just fixing that up.
I've never really been into no? Those bunning sausages as well.
Have you not?
For me, no. Grew up with pork ones in the UK. The beef ones are a little bit different. Each their own, though. My kids love them.
Well, you'll have to jump on democracysausage.org. Have you heard about that website?
No, I mean, look, I'm all over just getting something different. I mean, democracy steak would be great.
Yeah. Well, that website tells you all the barbecues happening all around the ACT and what you can expect. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, I won't be here, so job done for my voting. Get out there and make sure you do it, because if you don't, not only will you miss out on voting for something very important, you'll also get fined.
Which is not ideal.
No. Don't know how much it is, but I imagine it's quite a lot. Ball forward for Halpin to chase. We thought we'd be discussing the relative merits of politics and the democracy sausage. Ball into the middle. Evans comes to meet. On a Thursday night at Gungahlin enclosed.
Must admit, driving here this evening, I didn't expect to hear the phrase totalitarian regime, as you said a few moments ago.
I'm surprised I could get it out after 3 games of commentary in a row. I don't mind a bit of dystopian science fiction occasionally, but not in real life. Ball swung in towards Moss, helped on its way. Fisher under pressure. Space out on that flank for Halpin, who switched sides, so having gone to take the corner and still going and looking to tee one up for Moss in the middle. Couldn't get there. Giddis.
Can I do one more political reference before we move on from the topic?
Well, as soon as this ball gets cleared, I'm sure, which will be in a moment, as Hicks has got an opportunity. Knock yourself out.
I was just going to say, the Wanderers, they just keep on coming forward. They just keep on coming and coming, very similar to text messages from Clive Palmer. They just keep on coming.
Oh dear. I mean, you can't block them either, can you?
I know.
It's horrendous. There's nothing you can do, and it's so frustrating.
I think I got 3 today.
I got a couple as well. Yeah. It's so frustrating. Can't do anything about it. If you know how to do something about it, please feel free to let me know.
Yes, me too.
And the rest of Australia, I'd imagine. Bria Waters. Halpin. It is an important part of the country that we live in, though. And I saw a young lad today that came on a Football UK tour with me with Football Canberra last year. Young lad. Just turned 18, voting for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Got himself out there and did his voting today. Welcome to adulthood, as they say. And taxes. Anyway, less of that. Senti. Hicks. Senti again. Halpin. Senti. They're a very accomplished outfit, West Canberra Wanderers. And they're looking for another goal, looking for a 5th. Waters. They're glad to have her back.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly the Wanderers on top in this game, but the ANUFC defence is holding up. Some may have thought, they could concede a lot in a short space of time, but they haven't done that. They've done very well defensively. And the Wanderers still trying to break them down to find yet another goal.
12 minutes, plus whatever Tom Love, I'm going to call him Tom. I understand they've already cropped it and put it in the referee's chat group, the fact that we called him Courtney.
I apologise in advance for when Tom/Courtney checks his phone after the game.
I don't, because I was told to do it by work, so blame them. Here's a chance for Waters. Shakes off the challenge. Can she finish? Might get a second bite at it. And Evans did well, not just once, but twice, at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, good stop from Evans. First shot was straight at her, but had to jump straight back up to get that second shot away to safety. Has given away a corner, but yeah, it's a wonderful save.
Coming across quickly, Giddis to take it, as if they were the ones trailing. Looking for Moss at the near post. And Giddis again to Wheel, hooks it away. I think it had already gone for a corner though. Same setup. Okay, Alex Giddis is. You'd think they were 2-0 down. The way she's going across to take the corners, super keen to get on with it.
Maybe she's just very cold.
Senti to send it in. Little touch from Nash, who scored the fourth. Oh, and that's a foul. Was that inside the box?
I think just outside.
Giddis was brought down, right on the edge. Giddis scored off a free kick in the first half, getting on the end to stab one in, and it's going to be her left foot. And this angle is very tempting indeed for Alexandra Giddis. Threatened all night to add to the goal she scored early on. Been denied by some wonderful defending. Can she whip this in left-footed? There's a huge gap to Annabelle Evans' left over the top of the wall. If Giddis can place it there, that's where it's gone, but into the wall in the end.
Yeah, certainly Evans was barking out instructions at her defenders, making sure that that wall was in the right spot.
There's Alina van den Boogaard on the run. Very positive run. Ibrahim got a knee on it. To Wheel. Smith. Hicks just knocks it down. Nash can calm things down. Good run that from van den Boogaard.
Very much got some excitement on the ANU benches as well.
Yeah, got them up, didn't it? Senti, meanwhile, sliding one through. Clipped away by Siwa. Ibrahim Nash. And van den Boogaard. Mitchell. Running from Fisher. Can't fault the work rate of those in blue. They might be getting themselves a reward. Van den Boogaard might have had a pop.
A little bit of frustration on the bench there that van den Boogaard didn't have that shot from distance. Decided to
Price did,
find
but
a teammate.
Yeah, it was a bit further out when she had a go. Nicely read. You can hear the noise from the ANU bench. Up and shouting. Renee Sillett getting herself forwards.
Certainly can't fault the ANU players for effort, nor the ANU bench.
Still getting behind their team at 4-1 down. Hoping another goal would be a great reward for them. To Wheel. Had a pop from this distance before. Encouraging her to do again. Smith's got involved. Can't quite wrap her foot around it, but it's really positive stuff for ANU at this stage of the game. 8 minutes to play. As we start to tighten up on the... Well, I do. Not how you're going, mate.
How are the legs?
Cramping up myself. 3 games in 3 days. A lot of standing. Could do an advert for foot cream. Ibrahim. Fisher again. Putting the effort in. Select from fullback. Renee Select has slotted into that position.
Really, I think the big difference in this game is those attacking 3 players from Wanderers Cochrane, of course, we know what her ability is. Giddis and Haplin, they've really been the difference, other than the handful of chances from far out that they've been able to convert, and the bit of quality as well that they've been able to convert. You have to say it's a bit of an even game, which you don't often say when the scoreline is 4-1.
They will cause issues. Van den Boogaard causing problems since she's come on. Look very lively, Alina Van den Boogaard. All these players will be putting their hands up to start on the weekend. Some of the ones that have come off the bench. Smith back for Evans. Got the foot through that for Tawil. Skips away from her, and Leonard can tidy up at the back. Liv Hicks.
Certainly Van den Boogaard has put in a very strong case to start on the weekend.
Moffat won it. Challenge was from Bria Waters coming back to dispossess the centre-back. Giddis can't nick with Ibrahim. Nikias. Just on the back foot here for a moment. Van den Boogaard had a swing. Didn't get the right connection. Struggling to get rid of the ball, the Wanderers. In the end, Liv Hicks says that'll do and sends it up the other end of the park.
They have caused the Wanderers, at times, a little bit of panicky moments at the back. They've certainly had their moments, have ANUWFC.
We're going to see some more changes, some popular changes. Ellen Brown and Sam Host are going to come on. Two substitutes. Zoe Halpin's day is done. Ellen Brown, a goal-scoring striker. Sam Host has come out to the wing.
That's just what ANUFC didn't want to see after battling hard with all of Wanderers strikers. They've just brought on a fresh set of legs.
Well, Ellen Brown's gone into defence. I've not seen her play there before. Usually plays further forward. Sam Host has come up. Emma Leonard's been replaced. Perry Nash touches it off, and this will be one for Host to chase. Sam Host putting the effort in. Young forward. Only played one MPL game in her entire career. Usually plays her football in the reserve grade team and knocking on the door of first grade selection. So big moment for Sam Host. Again, another one who's played a bit in the CFL. Well, to say Ellen Brown, most of her football I've seen her play out front. A couple of goals she scored. Another futsal player of some repute as well. From Ellen Brown, playing central defence at the moment. Comes off the knee of Host. But they're going to get a few minutes, Jordan, 4 of them, roughly.
Always good to try something different, and excited to see what Host can do in these last couple of minutes. Like I said, only one NPL match to her name so far. She's got a couple of minutes to impress, to hopefully build on that as the year goes on.
Brown steps in. Senti's throw. Moss. One of Abigail Moss's jobs at Capital Football is to run this competition. Federation Cup and Australia Cup in administrative capacity.
Well, she does a very good job. It's wonderful to see all of these cup competitions on.
Giddis has won it back. Nikias. Giddis. Brown. Hicks. So we'll settle for the throw as time ticks away, and West Canberra Wanderers can look forward to that semi-final date with Canberra, Croatia. They will enter that as underdogs, mainly because of the historical form of the two teams, less to do with how they're playing this season, as this will be 4 wins in a row for the Wanderers. To one for Perry Nash. Ball from Host. Smith's done well.
It's been a good win by the Wanderers. Certainly not as one-sided as many people thought driving here it would be tonight. Certainly ANU WFC have done well and have got some confidence that they can build on for the next games.
Waters finds host, flag goes up for offside against host.
And ANU have certainly dominated at parts in this game. They've had the Wanderers on the back foot on multiple occasions, so certainly they've got lots to build on as the season goes on.
This venue will be host tomorrow night for Men's Premier League. Gungahlin United host Canberra, Croatia. Pictures looking in great nick for that one as well. Don't miss that. 7:30 kickoff. All the information regarding dates and times for the semi-finals will be on the Capital Football website and social media pages, of course. Nash to send this ball in. Is there one more before the end? Moss, oh, that's a sore one. Right in the face of Sienna Price. Picks herself up and shakes it off.
On a cold night as well, that's never fun.
Zero sympathy from Abigail Moss. There is now. A little shake of the hand. Sorry about that. Good defending there for Price, putting her body on the line even at this late stage into the final 30 seconds. The Wanderers have got the job done. It looked comfortable and it didn't, and now it does. Lovely turn from Waters. Good ball as well to host. Bria Waters has looked sharp since she's come on. Wonder where they're going to fit her into the system with that front three as well. Nice problems to have for Steve Rowan-Jones.
I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. They're very nice problems to have when you've got too many players in form.
I have to remember and have to look it up in the history books, but I can't remember the last time Wanderers won 4 in a spin. Abigail Moss thought about it and perhaps should have let go. Van den Boogaard will chase. Hicks is quick across the ground and decides safety first is the option. Yeah, 4 wins in a row to start the season. 3 wins in the league, 1 in the cup. Not going to sniff at that, are you?
They'll be hoping to make that 5 this weekend away to Canberra, Croatia, Deakin Stadium. Sunday afternoon, 4:30 kickoff. Highly recommend. If you can head down, go check it out. If you can't, all these games will be live on the Capital Football YouTube. Biggest
test of the season so far, that for the Wanderers. Moss finds host, and Moss again. And Nash will get after it. Smith puts the effort in again, even at this late stage. Host. Nash. Senti has it back again. Hicks. Third challenge from Sira. Apologies. Al-Saraya should have said. Lovely turn from Waters, beautifully away from her marker. Can she find a finish? Angles are cute. Still going, Bria Waters. What a run this is. Oh, and it's hit the crossbar. It would have been special from Bria Waters. Everything but the finish. And the woodwork rattled.
Inches away. Wonderful run using a little bit of burst of pace to get away from her marker. Beautifully cut inside. The strike looked like it was going top corner.
Host charged down by Tawil. Half an inch lower and we would have been talking about one of the great individual goals in the Federation Cup.
We've had some wonderful goals this evening as well, it has to be said.
Senti. Challenge from Tawil. And Brown will go back to O'Brien. In the dying embers of the match. You could still hear the noise from the ANU bench imploring their team to close down. Wanderers play around the press with Senti. Cheers from Al-Sarai again, getting the shin in the way. Smith, Al-Sarai, Price, Moffats. Nikias got there first. Giddis will put the pressure on and keep it in play, and they're still hungry for more here. Giddis. And Fisher can play it forward. Brown for Hicks. Senti again, plenty of touches. Waters a little bit shy on the pass. Alsarai. Deep into stoppage time. We played 4 minutes of it. There can't be much more.
So the referee looking at his watch just a few moments ago, just double checking.
Yeah, a couple of glances already from Tom Love. Van den Boogaard
has done well, Van den Boogaard, since coming on.
Different dimension to the attack. Alina Van den Boogaard.
She's used her pace very well a couple of times.
Yet to make an NPL appearance. Might be in line for one on the weekend. We will see. It's come off of Moss. Yet another check of the watch. Can only be 30 odd seconds, I'd imagine. About 5 minutes of it. Well, that'll be it. And the West Canberra Wanderers will make their way into the semi-finals. As expected, Jordan Bocock, but from moments in the second half, about 15 minutes after the restart when ANU scored, it was in the balance. Yeah,
as expected, I think the majority of people coming to watch this game tonight would have thought that it would be a Wanderers win. Many perhaps thought it would be a slightly easier win. Credit has to be given to ANU WFC. Their defence as well held strong in that first half, in the second half as well. But yes, as you say, it is the Wanderers who move on to the next stage of the Cup. 2 goals within 4 minutes of each other twice. I've seen West Canberra Wanderers through. Alexander Giddis in the first half, followed by Zoe Halpin's second to make it 2-0 at the break. Shema Tawil's blockbuster pulled it one back for ANU, but goals from Tamara Cochrane and Perry Nash have sealed the deal, and West Canberra Wanderers will advance to the Federation Cup semi-finals, where Canberra, Croatia awaits. Thanks for myself, Russ Gibbs and Jordan Bocock, Josh on camera, and everybody up in Brisbane on the production for watching here tonight. The final score in the Federation Cup semi-final, Gungahlin enclosed, is ANU 1, West Canberra 4.